right, welcome back everyone to our day 4 of Audiobiz Virtual NAMM. I have got myself here, aka Redbeard, and we also now have Brian Blackbeard, and Gray. So, welcome, Brian. We are going to be having us join us in a minute here. Dale from QSC. We're going to be kind of mixing it up. Normally at NAMM we're talking about all the MI type stuff, but we're actually going to be talking about some systems products here. So QSC introduced the business music series processors and stuff about a year ago now, and we've been having great success with them. A lot of different applications. So we kind of wanted to cover a little bit more about that. And also, this is an interactive session, so if you do have questions, drop those in the comment section, and we can bring those in and get those answered if there's anything out there. We are also going to be dropping our secret word for a mystery swag pack. So make sure that you guys listen at some point during the stream. We are going to take a break and show that secret word. Make sure that you collect all 5 of those words, and at the end of the week, you can go to our website at audiobiz.com/NAMM 2021. And you can enter all those secret words and win a chance to get a mystery swag pack. So, Brian, you're super excited about the mystery swag packs, aren't you?
I am, but I'm very intrigued. Like, what
is a mystery
It's like a MacGuffin. I don't know what it is, but I want it.
The MacGuffin. Nice. Well, let's bring this video of Travis talking about what those secret mystery boxes are, and then we'll be back with Dale.
So what is a mystery box? We've collected swag from all of our manufacturers, plus some guaranteed prizes that will be in the limited edition Audiobiz NAMM 2021 mystery box. These boxes will be packed at random and filled to the brim with t-shirts, hats, stickers, all the fun swag you'd normally get at NAMM. We've collected from all of our manufacturers. We're gonna pack these at random and send them to you. So all you have to do is collect the 5 secret words. We're gonna drop 1 every single day. You're just gonna go to this web address, fill out the form, submit your secret words, and be entered to win. So these mystery boxes are limited to the first 30 people that submit the correct 5 secret words. So you don't wanna miss out on the videos, and you don't wanna miss your chance to win one of our limited edition mystery boxes. This mystery box could be yours. It's so heavy. Don't sleep, get a mystery box.
All right. Welcome, Dale. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, normally we would be all in sunny California, except we are now all stuck in states that have snow right now, and being cold. I'm also kind of bummed. Normally we have our annual rep meeting before NAMM kicks off at the QSC factory and get to see all the different reps and all of the QSC employees and generate some pretty cool stuff. So it was kind of a bummer to miss that this year, but we're doing what we can. So thank you again for joining us. First off, I have to ask, I see some recording equipment in the background,
I am getting the studio back together, and so I'm in the unfinished basement, but and this is dicey right here, but you can see some various equipment and things that I'm gathering and bringing back to life. So yeah, exciting times.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people are bringing back hobbies and doing stuff. I recently got into snowshoeing. I bought a pair of snowshoes and in the outdoors, which was a task in itself to find snowshoes right now. It was kind of like kayaks during the summer. Nobody wanted to. Yeah. So it's interesting times, but yeah, it's cool that you were able to join us. We're wanted to talk about some of the systems products. Obviously QSC has a huge legacy in the live market, and you guys have been a staple at NAMM for many years. And I know you being at QSC for a while have played tons of different roles, on both the, the pro and the consumer side, or not consumer, but the MI side, I guess I should say, and also the system side. So it's good to have your experience here. But, we wanted to talk a little bit more about, kind of the business music processors. We're seeing a lot of those, kind of creep into some different areas. But, do you want to give us a little bit of background about, kind of how the business music product came out and, where the technology came from and, kind of
Absolutely. So probably 5 years ago, we recognized a need for a small processor for commercial applications, and typical applications might be restaurants, retail stores, gyms, but there's a lot of applications where they need audio, but it may not be their primary focus, right? I mean, even some crazy ones, funeral homes, other things like that. And so we had this wealth of technology, and in particular the TouchMix series. And so we took the DSP engine from the TouchMix and we packaged it into the MPM series. There's a fair amount of coding to to change the DSP and provide the tools that was necessary for these more commercial applications. So essentially there's a TouchMix packaged into a commercial DSP processor, and it really made it ideal for a lot of these applications where, again, audio's necessary. They want background music, they want paging or something like that, and yet they don't want to have a professional system or maybe a mixer, a console that requires a lot of hands-on adjustment, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Brian, you look like
in particular. The TouchMix in particular, I think it's cool to tie that together, right? Because a lot of us have used it. A lot of people watching have. If you haven't, give it a shot. But one of the most powerful things about it is you have basically a simple mode and an advanced mode. And that simple mode just takes care of all kinds of stuff for you behind the scenes. And if you're experienced or you want to mess around, you can switch it and actually play with those individual settings. And that's something that I was really excited that you guys ported over to the business music system, is it gives the sort of novice or person just getting into it an easy way to start and get a system up and running. But for those of us that have been around a little bit more, it's a powerful engine under there.
Right. Yeah. So for less sophisticated integrators, people who are just getting into the market, they want to be able to provide those types of adjustments for, let's say they're doing a restaurant installation. In fact, I was just talking with an integrator earlier in the week, and he was doing a Mexican restaurant. This is in El Paso, Texas, and he was asking about how to use the EQ. And one of the things that I was able to point him to, in fact, maybe I will show it to, let's see. When we get into the DSP, we can talk about that and we'll get into the programming. But basically, I was able to help him put the EQ into simple mode, and then it's very, very simple, easy. Grab the handle, move the parametric EQ. Okay, you want a little bit more bass, you can move it here, and he could hear it making changes, and was really happy with the way that worked for him.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because, like we are starting to see, kind of a shift in some of the MI space of, music stores are getting into doing installs. It's
Absolutely.
always, helping out the bars and restaurants and, in places like that, do need something more than, kind of a traditional, like live sound setup, but they want something a little bit more formalized. And that's where the, the business music product really fits rather well. So, I am seeing it in some, kind of crazy situations. Like you were saying, we all think of, zoned stuff as, the traditional retail, type section. But, I see guys that are using them in, warehouses for different, zone paging systems. Like you mentioned, funeral homes. I've done several with customers of, actually they're getting quite advanced, I have to say. Like some of the things that are going on for the funerals of being able to do, individual rooms simultaneously, but then sometimes
Right.
combine and do stuff like that. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, so actually, I learned a new term when I was talking about these products and sharing them with some of our dealers in the South. They said, "Well, this will work great for those Merriman Barium systems," and I'm like, "Merriman Barium, small churches. They've got their regular console for maybe it's a more high level production for their Sunday service." But there are services where they're doing weddings and funerals, and all they need is a live mic and maybe an organ feed or something like that. And so it was very simple to give them, here's a simple preset that you can recall, and it changes over your inputs. And now it's very, very simple. Now Sunday comes along, just recall the other preset, and now you can use your full console and everything. So it was, I thought it was a funny term, and but it was, I mean, it fit the application perfectly because it provided that the control that they needed while still giving them a simple system that they could give to the pastor or whatever.
Yeah, and it's funny when you start getting into those situations, like typical house of worship, you think that, okay, the main sanctuary, and that's where the audio was. But then,
Right.
like, okay, well, what about the foyer? Okay, what about the overflow room? What about the children's room? And you start getting into these pretty big zone systems that sometimes historically have been, multiple little systems, and this really ties it together. And I would agree, the ease of use, even in the the main sanctuary, you can use this as a speaker processor, a system processor, be able to do EQ and tune and delay inputs and do all this stuff. So it is a very powerful powerful product. So I guess let's just get into some of the nitty gritty of what really makes up the business music systems.
Yeah, well, what makes up those types of systems, you mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, like the products, like what do we have to offer?
Okay, yeah.
And things like that.
So actually, when we developed the MPM, we also developed a series of amplifiers and loudspeakers, and so and they were kind of designed to work together. Certainly, you can use them with other products, but exactly. There we go. So we brought this system out all together at the same time. We brought the MPM Zone mixer, some amplifiers that definitely work with them, and then some new subwoofers and satellite loudspeakers. We found that a lot of times it was really necessary to have subsats because they, in a retail space or in a restaurant, larger speakers sometimes work well, but they can be overpowering. Whereas if you put, if you utilize a subwoofer and satellites, you can actually lower the overall volume, but have satellite speakers closer to the customer, and therefore they get the full musical experience without being blasted and either too loud or too soft, depending on where they're sitting. So being able to distribute those speakers a little bit better. And I see that the screen has not changed. So I don't know. The fun with
virtual.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, one of the things I'd like to point out too is, on that previous slide, we kind of saw the subwoofer and then the different form factors, and those are all like mix and match, right? So if you have a suspended ceiling in the dining room, but it makes more sense to use a surface mount sub in a corner, we can accommodate that, right?
Right. Let's just see. Yep, allow. Okay, so this hopefully will be better. So when we developed those subsats, we actually developed 3 form factors, and you're absolutely right. They're designed to mix and match. So on the left, we've got the surface mount with these little cubes and a kind of a square subwoofer there. We developed pendants and ceiling speakers, and they absolutely were designed to mix and match. So use any speaker, as needed. Developed them in black and white. So we developed new speakers with this series. We also developed some new amplifiers. So yeah, they handle 200 watts, new amps. The amplifiers are also 200 watts per channel. So it gives them some real power that they can put behind these loudspeakers. And one of the unique things about them is they have what we call flex amp. where I can actually share the power between channels, just giving us real, maybe one channel I need to drive a louder subwoofer, and another channel I'm just doing some little paging things. And so using this flex amp technology in the amplifiers makes for great flexibility in terms of how it can apply to the application. But the real star of this of these systems, yes, more stuff about amps. The real star of the system was the mixers, and the mixers are just you can see the number of inputs and outputs are available. So I've got the MPM 40, which is 4 mic line ins, 4 line levels outs, and 4 outputs, and the MPM 80 is 8, 8, and 8. So rather than spending too much time on this stuff, I don't know if we want to spend time getting into the software, or what do you think you guys want to do?
Yeah, I would love to talk about that. I mean, the processors, pretty self-explanatory there on, the inputs and the outputs. Couple nice things that, I like, because sometimes these systems are, mono distributed systems, like the RCA inputs mono sum everything and make it easy. So you don't have to worry about doing a whole bunch of configuration and things like that.
Right.
And kind of going back to what we were saying about the touch mix, we have that capability. You can put this into a mixer mode and be able to bring a whole bunch of inputs in. So, we can show a little bit of that here. I'm going to pull up the screen here. I saw. Oh, nope. Yep,
yeah, I'm trying to get it so I can see both you and the screen. And so you can see the screen right now?
Yes, we can see the screen. So you are good there. So one of the key features while you're figuring that out is the software. I mean, you guys did make a killer software for both setup and control of the system.
Yeah. So here we go. You should be able to see that now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
okay, good. So the software, this is called MP Install, and it can run on a PC or on a tablet. And it's designed for, hello. And of course, it's, there we go. Ever so slow because got so many things running. There we go. So I can select my inputs, and I've got, this is an MPM 40 that's here in my home office. And so I've got 4 mic line inputs, 4 RCAs. And just a minute ago, that CD player was running, but maybe I got to the end of the disc. But anyway, I can select from these inputs. So if I click on my outputs, I can select from the inputs that are available. So in this particular case right now, because I want to hear you, I'm selecting my PC left and right. But I can. There's a USB player. And that USB player can, so I can play, music from whatever source that there is, and so it just enables me to have those those inputs and outputs. I can route them, and then I've got all this processing, like the touch mix. I've got input processing and I've got output processing, and so it's very, very easy to to manipulate this system. Like I said, we do have a tablet format. And so I'm tempted to just minimize this and stop the screen. And I'll show you. I can also control it from select that unit. I can also control it from this iPad. In my experience, as I've helped integrators put these systems together, being able to walk around the store or the restaurant or gym or whatever it is and make changes live, and select that source and volume up, down, whatever it is, whatever they need to do, go into an EQ field. Here we go, and make adjustments on that EQ and turn that on. And so, there it is. So do whatever I need to do live in the zone. And now I just save it and move on to the next zone, that kind of a thing.
Yeah. I appreciate that the software is the same between the tablets and the PC, which is really cool. So you don't have to learn different form factors or anything like that. So.
Yep. You were mentioning the inputs and sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say along the lines with the tablet. So the tablet and the PC were designed for the integrator. We do also have a phone interface that's designed for the end user. And so, I mean, I was setting up this system earlier for a customer, and so you can see the logo there, but it's the same kind of thing. I can go in here. Now, there's much less control because I don't want them to have all that control, but I can go in and, again, select the source, make my volume adjustment, and go back to my PC so I can hear you guys when you talk. I can actually make live pages from my phone. Just a lot of really cool features are available from the phone. And this is MP managed. So this is designed for the end user, MP install on the tablet and PC for the integrator. So really trying to give both the integrator the tools they need to set it up, and then the end user the tools that they need to manage the system, when they're running their spin class or, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, I also really like that you can have different inputs assigned for a zone. So you can have priority inputs like a primary and a secondary. I helped a customer who did a gym system, and they were like, we want to be able to play music, but we want to be able to talk over the music during gym class. So you can set that up. You have a ducker. It makes everything kind of really hands off, that somebody that doesn't really know audio can just walk in, flip on a mic switch and start talking, for gym class or whatever. And that, that's a huge, benefit, I guess I would say, for the end users. It's not a complicated system. We also have a wall remote, for being able to control things too. So I don't know if you've got one of those handy.
Yeah. So here from my desk, I can, again, I'll select that other source. I've got volume up, down, and let's just see, go back to my PC source. But yeah, so just really easy. I mean, Decora style panel, and, just plug it into the wall and away it goes.
And everything is customizable per zone and user too, right? So we can, if I have a sports bar, I don't ever want the football game to be played in the dining room. If I have a manager, they can have different permissions than, say, just a bartender, maybe touch on a couple things that we might be able to do on that end.
Sure. Yeah. So each zone has the ability to, in fact, I'll go, this might be, anyway, I'll just talk and wave my hands. Each zone has the ability to go in and select its sources, the sources that you want to have for that zone, and they are specific to that zone. And so going back to that restaurant bar application, in the bar, yes, certainly you want that football game. You want all those audio sources. In the restaurant, you probably just want background music, right? And so each zone has the ability to go and select it, just those sources. And so when the end user, whether they're going to their phone or whether they're going to the wall controller, and they're controlling that zone, they only see those sources. They don't see it, they don't see the TV because that's not a source that's available to that zone. So it gives them the sources that they need at the levels. You can also set maximum and minimum levels, so so it's not too loud or too soft. So that way, when the cleaning staff is there and they crank it all the way up, they're not going to blow out their speakers, as an example, because that has been known to happen. Just trying to keep, again, give as much control to the integrator to set it up, but then provide some limits for that end user when they're doing daily operation, and it just functions the way they expect it to.
Cool. I am going to take a brief second. I do want to kind of continue that conversation here, but I do want to drop the secret word for today. So just make sure that everyone gets their pens ready and is ready for the secret word. And remember, at the end of the week, you can go to our audiobiz.com/NAMM 2021, enter those secret words, and get entered to win a mystery swag box. So let me give you that word here quick. The secret word is earplug. Oh, earplug. Yep.
Nice.
We got to be creative. But the one cool other thing, I was talking. We mentioned funeral homes. We keep on going back to the funeral homes, the macabre.
Yeah.
But I was helping a customer do a funeral home, and they had two. I don't know what you want to call them, rooms, viewing rooms.
Viewing rooms is what they call those.
So we had two different rooms. We had two different wireless mics. We had two different, we were actually using an Aterotech Bluetooth device to play back audio. So each room had its own thing, but they said sometimes for larger funerals, they actually combined the two rooms. So we were actually able to use the scene architecture that's built in to be able to do the two independent systems, so they never interacted with each other. But then you could also go back to a scene and make it that any mic from any room would be heard everywhere. So that's a pretty powerful thing that can be done with being able to recall those, kind of like a snapshot, on a touch mix.
Yeah, absolutely. The scene architecture was totally stolen, just straight across stolen from the touch mix, and excuse me, utilizing that, we were able to. You can not only can you create scenes and recall them from a wall panel as an example, or the phone, but you can actually schedule those scene recalls too. So there's a lot of restaurants who utilize this product, and they'll actually have a number of scenes that are just automatically recalled. 5 p.m. happy hour, and 1 o'clock in the morning, system shutdown. Where it just minimizes everything, basically mutes all the zones, and then having a startup scene that is recalled at 9 a.m. or something like that. So there's a real-time clock built into the unit, and it just it can again provides a lot of functionality there for very very attractive price for these applications.
The timed scene recall is a huge thing for bars. Being a live sound guy, I'm always loading out of bars after close, and it's always the bartenders that are cleaning up for the night, crank the music, crank the tunes. But when you're getting there at 9 in the morning to open things up, you don't want everything blasting at you.
That's right.
That timed recall, that kind of set your base levels, and if somebody was monkeying around, it's kind of you're back to a fresh start, which is super awesome. So.
Yeah. One thing that you mentioned, Dale, that I'd just like you to touch on again, because it blew me away the first time I tried it, is the Wi-Fi paging.
Yeah.
So how exactly does that work? And I don't think I need to say why is it cool, because people are going to get it. It's awesome.
Yeah. So basically, the way it works is magic, and there you go. So in the user interface, and sorry, it's a phone, so I'm just going to hold it up to the camera. But in the user, there we go. In the user interface, try to get as little glare as possible. In the user interface, I've got a number of different functions, but one of those is paging. And if I go to that paging interface and push on that button, this is weird doing this backwards and in the reflection of the. Anyway, I can record a page. Now, the cool thing about this is oftentimes when you do paging, the paging is live. And if you're standing near a microphone, you can actually get, if you're standing near a speaker, you can get feedback. Well, the way that we do paging in the MPM is store and forward. So I store it, I record it in the phone. It is saved in the phone. Once I'm ready to send that page, in fact, I can do that now. I'll hit the record page. Test 1, 2, 3. This is a page. So I've saved it. It's in my phone. It has not been sent yet. That's it. There we go. This green button tells me to allows me to send that. And once I do that, and I think this zone is set up for doing it. So we should actually hear that in just a little bit. It does take a couple of seconds to travel across the Wi-Fi. So I don't know if you heard that, but it paged here in my local zone, and basically played what I had recorded on the phone. And so it utilizes the basically your phone's mechanism for recording and then playing it out via, it's just an audio packet that gets sent via Wi-Fi. And because my MPM is connected to Wi-Fi, it can receive that and then send that to whichever zones it's programmed to send that to. So
Yeah, that's
Go ahead.
killer. It's like, especially for like, I'm working with another customer right now that's doing a warehouse, and typically with like, a paging system, you'd have to go to either a paging input, like a dedicated desk or something like that, or pick up a phone system, dial in. But, this gives people the freedom. You can give them the access, and you can also give them permissions, which is kind of cool too. So they can't get in and monkey around with certain things, but they can do certain aspects. So anyone driving around in the warehouse can be able to, do that page, which is a huge function.
Right. Yeah. So if they're using the phone application, you can actually have multiple users, all with different access levels. And so some people may be able to page, other people might not. Some people can control volume, other people might not. And so it's a lot of utility. It's a lot of things that are available to the end customer, and of course there's a security function. So the manager can select who has what access level, and how they can kind of build a user table based on that. If you've got a large organization with lots of people, that's important. So we're extremely excited about the product. It's done really well. Even with COVID, it's been tough on restaurants. It's been tough on a lot of business types. However, we've also seen restaurants take a step back and say, okay, while we're closed, or while we only have window pickup or whatever, we're going to do some actual work on our system and make it sound better for when we can reopen. And so while we did see a little bit of a blip, a little bit of a drop in business, it's actually come right back. And we're excited with the success that we're having with this product.
Yeah. One of the viewers that was watching just dropped us a comment. QSC is not only just great product, it's a solution. And I would agree.
Yeah.
You kind of have provided, everything from nuts and bolts, supply the cable, and the gear, the source equipment. But, I find that that's, a good approach that QSC is doing, from their, biggest QSys systems all the way down to business music, or even on the MI side, with Touch Mix and K Series. And it's all designed to be a system and work together pretty flawlessly. So
right. Well, and actually along those lines, not only maybe I should show that here in the on the tablet. Along those lines, I actually do have speaker presets built in, so I can actually, if I have a restaurant with the K Series, I can actually pull up a K Series preset, again, trying to make it as easy as possible for that integrator. And so he can choose, our AD series or whatever, and automatically load that tuning. And now that speaker is going to be maximized. Its sonic performance is going to be, awesome. And, or he can create his own preset, if he's always using some homebrew speakers that his uncle built, create a preset for those. And next time he builds a set, hopefully they'll be the same.
Yeah. And another feature you built in that's I find great for not only first-time users, but also for people that might be managing a number of these installs. Say you've got a chain, whether it's local, or one guy, in Milwaukee owns like 12 bars, right? He wants it in every bar. There's a function built right into the install that's literally a checklist that the installer can go through, and it's inputs, and then you check it outputs. And at the end of it, you guys even take away any question by generating a little report, and everything's verified, done. And should something happen, you're all backed up.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. That's part of the setup wizard, and the setup wizard is literally a checklist of all the different elements that you may not need to go through them. And you don't need, if you're setting up a system and you know what you're doing, you don't necessarily need to go through the setup wizard. But if you're new to the installation process and, just kind of want a little bit of a primer, it takes you through step one. Recall the preset. Maybe there's already a configuration file that's designed for, maybe your company already has a bunch of restaurants and you want to start with a configuration file from one of those restaurants to build this new restaurant, right? So you can recall that configuration file. Step two, okay, set up your sources. Step three, set up your zones. Step four, and it just takes you through the process. Step 7 or 8 is setting up wall controllers, setting up the phone interface, and just takes you through step by step. And you're right, at the very end, you can generate a report and send that report to maybe the project manager or somebody and what's in that report. It's basically all the steps that we're gone through. Passwords are in there. I mean, just speaker tunings that were selected, things like that. Important stuff that's in the report, but it's an easily readable report. It's just like a text document. So it's not like the project manager needs to open the software and actually see everything that was done.
Yeah,
cool.
And you can also save all your settings to a USB stick and walk away for a backup just in case something happens. You've got that file that you can kind of go back, and if somebody got into the system and tweaked a whole bunch of stuff out, you can send somebody back out with just that USB and recall it and kind of be back to square one pretty quickly. So
yeah, absolutely. Again, there's a number of products out there in the market. I really think, having seen many of them, the MPM is definitely, I think, in the lead is in terms of technology and in terms of ease of use. It really, for a lot of integrators, it really, fits the bill for them.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Well, it looks like we are coming to the close of our time together. So,
right.
Dale, I appreciate you joining us, for our NAMM week that we are doing here. Hopefully, we're able to expose some people to some of the different sides of the business that you might not normally see at NAMM. But, we appreciate that. And if anyone is interested in learning more about the business music processors and amplifiers and speakers and stuff, you can reach out to us at Audiobiz and hit us up on the website at audiobiz.com. And we look forward to seeing you on the other streams for the rest of the week. So thanks again, Dale.
I really appreciate being part of this. This has been a lot of fun. The thing that I miss is walking around NAMM with my earplugs in because it's so loud.
There you go. Awesome. Well, on that note, thank you again, Dale, and we will be talking with you later.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.